If you're inspo tanks, and make no mistake, you've come to the right place. Just give Tennelle the time to straight up blow your mind with a new show of drawing a blank.
Howdy everyone! We're going to be trying something new on Drawing a Blank for the next few weeks, and I hope you all are ready to go on a little journey with me. For the month of August, I am going to be breaking down the steps that go into creating this animation meme from start to finish, and go over my process in more detail than normal so it helps give you guys an idea about how to go through your own animations, or even just appreciate the time and effort that can go into a few animations. I encourage people to try and follow along and share your animations with me at Tennelle Flowers on Twitter. Let me know how this video helped or what you learned while animating. Alright, so before we get started, it's probably a good idea for you to know what animation meme I'm working on. I'm going to be doing the Soldier, Poet, King meme, originally created by Gothfrog, so I recommend watching that video if you haven't, since it's going to be the basis for my video. I'm using Starkland Battles characters, Dawnfrost, Golden Pelt, and Spotted Shadow as my Soldier, Poet, and King. I'll need to create walk cycles, a panning background, and animated paintings for this meme. Today we're going to start with the walk cycles. We're going to figure out the keyframes, make it smooth, clean it up, and keep to the personality of the characters as we go through each step, making sure that the body language of each character shines through how they walk while staying on model. Walk cycles are actually deceptively difficult and require a lot of practice to get looking good. If you've never done a walk cycle before, or more specifically, have never done a cat walk cycle before, I recommend gathering some reference. Watch and or film your cat, look for videos online of real cats, and then go look for guides of cat walk cycles online. Be sure to look at real-life reference first before going the easy route and just downloading Richard Williams' guide. I know it's easier to find and understand, but it's also important not to skip to someone else's handiwork before you understand how the thing you're drawing works in real life. Guides like these are a tool, but not a be-all end-all of understanding, and can sometimes be wrong in ways that you wouldn't see unless you had an understanding of the subject matter yourself. On to Spotted Shadow. Personality is very important to me in each of these walk cycles, and I'm very adamant about making sure the characters walk in the beat of the song. So their walk needs to bend to the confines of the music. To do this, I imported the song into my animation program and measured out the beat. Since I'm animating my walk cycle on twos, meaning I have a new drawing every 2 frames, my beat, or cycle, is going to be 12 drawings. Drawing 1 will be the front paw hitting the ground, and drawing 12 is the moment right before. 6 is the switch of the right and left legs going forward and back, and in between there needs to be the breakdown or crossover of the legs and in-betweens for those frames. Getting my leg positions down first is most important to me. It's also important to note that the back legs will not move the same time as their front legs and follow behind them, only 1 foot off the ground at a time. Now, even though I want 2 of my 3 characters walking on beat, I actually decided to add a subtle little symbolic change to Spotted Shadow's walk cycle in that she's actually walking on the offbeat, making her march different from Golden Pelt and Spotted Shadow's and having her literally marching to the beat of her own drum. The beat instead lands on Spotted Shadow's passing pose, but I plan to have her head and tail bob subtly to the beat to help her blend in with the other 2. Spotted Shadow's posture is slumped. Her expression is thoughtful and sad, and her tail drags along behind her. She's pushing herself along on those long legs of hers, and a big emphasis for me is her shoulders spiking up and down as she moves. Once one walk cycle is done, you can use it to help build the next 2. We have our basic rough frames for Spotty, so let's move on to Dawnfrost. Again, I'm starting with Dawnfrost's footwork. I do have a frame or 2 right away of Dawnfrost's whole body shape. This helps me keep the legs connected to a solid anchor on her body, and helps remind me how I want her personality to show through. It can be really easy to get overexcited about animating a walk cycle. Adding too much flair and movement can and has killed many a walk cycle in the past. Remember that since this is just a 12-frame loop, you don't want to add any elements to your walk cycle like blinking, ear flicks, asymmetrical head tilts, or basically any elements that would look strange repeating every second. It sounds obvious when I say it, but trust me, it sometimes takes a strong will not to add things like these to a walk cycle to give it some variety. The truth is that movement cycles in general are very technical and not exactly fun to animate, but they are very rewarding and satisfying to pull off. As far as personality touches on Dawnfrost goes, Dawnfrost is walking forward with a sense of purpose. Her head is down, pushing forward, her gaze is determined with her ears back. Her paws keep low to the ground, but just before hitting the ground, they flip up and out, giving her walk some snap and force. Her tail also twitches back and forth to the beat of the song. And now onto our last walk cycle, Golden Pelt. Golden Pelt's walk cycle is distinctly different from Spotty's and Dawn's simply with how he carries himself. His head is held high, as well as his tail. His walk is almost more of a prance or a trot, as he lifts his feet higher and his whole body raises and lowers with each step. He's just bursting with confidence. Good job, my boy. Another thing for first-time walk cycle animators to watch out for is flat-looking characters, unless, of course, that's what you're trying to achieve. Be sure to remember details like the paws turning inward slightly while walking, the rotation of the shoulders and hips, and just small attention to detail things like this can help your animation feel more real and true to life. Now that we have a rough base for each of our walk cycles, you might think that it's time to go to the line art, and oh, hell no. Okay, so I've basically spent about 10 to 15 minutes making each of these walk cycles so far. So now it's time to go back and polish it up. Remember not to get too caught up in the details during your first pass. It's a rough animation after all. Let it be rough. Get all of your ideas on paper and then go back and work out the details. It'll help you save time in the long run, trust me. I spent about an additional hour on each of these walk cycles just going through and cleaning up each aspect of my animation piece by piece. Doing a pass fixing the right front leg, and then the left front leg, watching the shoulders and hips. Do the same passes for the back legs. Now watch the tail. Make sure that the face doesn't float around or that the head bobs aren't too extreme. Erase any guidelines that I don't need anymore so I can get a clearer idea of my animation. And then go to the next character, and rinse and repeat until we have all three animations looking crisp and clean. And now we can finally start to move on to line art and coloring. But that'll have to be next week. I hope you all are just as excited about this as I am. I'm absolutely having a blast, so if anyone is inspired to follow along with me, be sure to show me your progress at Tennelle Flowers. I'd love to see it. If you would like to see what I am working on before everyone else, you can head over to my Patreon and donate to join my Discord server. Everyone at the $10 tier gets to see my works in progress and finished pieces before everyone else. Have a wonderful week, and please stay inspired. Mushroom Queen 20 asks, what decade in animation pilgrimage are you most excited for? 90s, definitely. It's my childhood and there is so much going on in the industry at the time. It's nuts. Thank you guys for your questions and have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.